इसकी बाद में एडिटिंग भी करनी है, आपको पता है। बड़े काम है, अभी मेरे गले से वो एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन पड़ी हुई है। थैंक यू डॉक्टर तमीम, it's a pleasure to be here with you as an expert in crowdsourcing domain. As you know, this interview would probably last for 15-20 minutes. But before we proceed to the interview, let me introduce myself for the record. I myself is Hassan Mayu. I'm pursuing my doctoral studies in software engineering from School of Computing at University of Technology Malaysia. I'm working under the supervision of Dr. Masite Ghazali. She's an associate professor at the School of Computing, UTM, and co-supervised by Dr. Noman Malik, assistant professor from Faculty of Engineering of Computer Science, National Institute of Modern Languages, Pakistan. Let me proceed and give you a little bit of detail about my work. My work mainly focuses on the motivation and sustenance of crowd engagement during crowdsourcing contest. During the study on crowdsourcing, I have identified 19 motivational factors that require experts' feedback that the studies claim to have sustained crowd participation during crowdsourcing. The received feedback will help and guide us to implement the identified motivational factors in a study which are deemed important and beneficial to help sustain participation in a crowdsourcing based task. Having said that, let us proceed. May I ask you to introduce yourself, please? State your name, your degree, your designation, workplace, not your work, just simple 2-3 things.
Yeah, my name Tamim Ahmed Khan. I did my first degree in software engineering from Sheffield University, UK, back in 92 to 95. Then I did an MS in computer engineering, MBA in financial accounting, and terminal degree PhD from Leicester University, UK, from 2008 to 2012. I have done number of jobs. My present job is I'm working as a professor in software engineering department, Bahia University, Islamabad, for about 10 years. Last 10 years I'm there. So this is a brief introduction.
Thank you, Dr. Tamim. Thank you, that's enough. And kindly share your latest contribution towards crowdsourcing. A brief to your latest work, whether in the journal or conference proceedings.
I have about 23 or 24 journal publications, and my area is, I am applying various software engineering disciplines and domains.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Before we proceed with the questions related to the motivational factor, let me ask you if you are familiar with the factors and descriptions that were emailed to you earlier. Or do you want me to go through them once again? I can give you time.
I don't think, because I've seen your Word document completely, and I've seen your second supervisor's work, number of MS students previously, so I'm quite familiar with these.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Before I proceed, let me tell you something about the background of the study, why I'm conducting this this review and this interview. I'll give you some. Let me brief the background study related to motivation and the need to sustain it during crowdsourcing from past literature. The scholars who have considered intrinsic and extrinsic motivation to be important for initial participation suffers, as there is evidence that participants' activities evolved during crowdsourcing setting, and it is beyond their knowledge to understand such phenomena and how to motivate the crowd further to achieve the project goal. Tanja is basically a professor from Stanford University. In his study of motivation participation in crowdsourced policy making, he argues that the motivation was measured using cross-sectional data, and thus their analysis lacked the evolution of primary motives. Similarly, he says earlier studies suggest that the presented results on crowd motivation are either inconclusive or have only considered motivation in one dimension by considering its origin and considered the cross-section of the study for sustained participation. So that is the reason why we want to further the work in sustained participation and see and get the review from the experts to see how much they concur with the motivational factors that were identified from the literature. So there will be two parts of the interview. In the first part, I need generic feedback on the motivation factors, and in part two, we will discuss some scenarios. So let us start with part one. Besides the primary intentions, intrinsic or extrinsic, you want to join a campaign or a contest. What motivates you to join such a contest? Consider yourself a part of a contest, and beside your initial motivations, do you believe learning is the key factor during a crowdsourcing contest that can motivate you to keep participating?
Yeah,
Your opinion, please.
yeah, I think so. Learning is one of the key factors.
Learning
Not
is
the key factor, or one of the key. Yeah.
one of the key factors. So,
Yeah.
so if you join a campaign, you believe if they show you something which can increase or enhance your learning, you would continue your participation.
Yeah.
Okay. Besides the primary intentions, do you believe altruism, contributing during crowdsourcing contests, can motivate you to keep participating? So, altruism, do you believe, is one factor?
I forgot your definition of
Okay, I'll show.
again.
Yes, I'll show it back to you. One second. Altruism is disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay,
I mean, if I want to earn money,
right.
then I mean, and if I'm raising my whole bread and butter through this,
Yeah.
then this will not be the case.
Not be
Otherwise,
the factor. Okay. So, do you believe the altruism can be implemented or comes into an action when there is some type of work which you believe needs your consideration selflessly, or you
sometimes
want,
yes, yeah.
like
Sometimes yes,
like
but not
teaching,
every-
like teaching is one, like giving time to the nature.
Yes, sometimes yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, doctor. Next question is about the. Do you believe monetary reward can
Of
be one?
course, yes.
Monetary reward is the basic one. Yes, everybody is after the monetary rewards. Okay. Besides your primary intention, do you believe perceive enjoyment? If you perceive enjoyment by doing some work in any campaign, you believe that can be a factor that you want to continue participation?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Enjoyment is one good. So another part is called eudaimomic. It is about contributing to one's own community. Do you believe you are a person who will do anything to contribute to the community?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Do you believe if contest provides you autonomy, if you are into usually what I have seen is that if you become a part of any contest, they ask you, they sign this letter with you that you will not leave the contest. So they don't give you the autonomy whether if you want to leave. Otherwise they will say that they will cancel your registration or something like that. So do you believe autonomy is one part that should be there, that whether you are interested in that campaign later or initially is part or is the key motivational factor?
It adds to your freedom.
Right,
I
it is.
mean,
It is.
I mean, it is a variable, but it is not always the variable.
Right. So do you believe if they don't give you autonomy, you will still be part of?
Sometimes yes, but most of the time autonomy is. I mean, one would like to join anytime and one would like to leave anytime.
Yes.
If I'm learning, I'll be in the contest or in the task. Otherwise, I'll leave.
Okay.
And if I can leave,
Yeah.
then that could be healthy. That would be easy for me.
Okay.
And I mean, you will see more people joining in because of the autonomy factor.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you, doctor. Do you believe contest providing goals, clarity, and ease of use? Like
Yes.
whether if you are into a contest and I give you some task, do you believe the goal clarity of the task is very important, and how
Yes.
easy it is to use the application to perform that task?
Yes. This is.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Do you believe notifying others about your contribution to environment welfare will help you to self-express? Now, these are four factors that you will see. One is self-expression, one is self-representation, one is repetition, and one is recognition. They are all linked together, but there are questions on them. So, do you believe self-expression
Yes.
is very important in crowdsourcing
It is.
to express your
Yeah.
feelings
Yes.
in the community? Okay. Thank you, doctor. Next question is regarding the self-presentation. Do you believe notifying others about your contribution? So, if you are doing any social work or anything, and if you notify them about how much you are contributing
Yeah.
to the environment, will help you self-present yourself during a crowdsourcing contest?
Yes, self presentation, recognition, reputation. Yeah.
You agree with all
Yeah,
three of
all
them? Okay.
yes.
Do you believe the duration of competition? Now, these factors, they are environmental specific. So it says, do you believe the duration of competition? If I ask you to be a part of a competition for like 6 months or 1 month or like for whole day, do you believe that it can motivate you to be a participant of a contest?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes, if the duration is short,
Hmm.
more people will be interested. If
Exactly.
duration is long,
Right.
less people. In my opinion, this
It
will
is.
be inversely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Do you believe the number of competitions you have been in is similar type of competitions an individual has participated before
This will
can
yes.
motivate you?
Yes.
So that means you have achieved some experience.
Yes.
You have the autonomy to how to perform task in a specific type of contest. So
I think so.
number of competition is good. Another question is: do you believe number of competitor teams? The teams that are presented against you, do you believe that those are the factor that can keep
It
you
will
motivated?
motivate lots of people. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, do you believe previous team engagement with previous performance can motivate you to continue your participation?
Yes, I mean
Team
your
engagement.
question is team engagement with positive performance
Yes.
will positively help.
Yes.
Yes.
And what if there was a negative effect of the last team
Then
performance?
it can sometimes it can I mean play negatively.
So you can take chances again later. It's possible. Okay. Do you believe the amount of prize? Now this is the amount of prize. It's not about. Well, they are giving you prize, but do you believe that if they are pay you 1 pence, $1, or similar
Any price, if the price is
low,
yeah, it will help.
even it's low or even it's too high.
Well, it will help.
But do you believe if I'll give you a task that is like give you $1, $2, do you believe you will consider or you think about whether the task is easy or is gonna be a challenge to you?
You
On the
want
other
to
hand,
say
on the
that-
contrary to a point one a pence job
I
task.
mean, you want to say the amount of the
Price.
price is basically somewhat proportional to the hardness or the difficulty of the job.
Yes.
It will, and people will think in those terms. Whenever you are doing or I am doing something in our for our economic benefit, we want to evaluate if whatever we are getting is it somewhere equivalent to the effort that we are going to put in.
Right.
This is
Thank you, doctor. Besides your primary intentions, do you believe if you are engaged in a campaign posted by a renowned organization like World Health Organization or any renowned will motivate you, right? Okay.
Yes.
Lastly, do you believe time spent with the company tenure is a factor that will keep you motivated and sustained? Like if you have worked with some ex-employer, if they ask you to come back and to perform some task, would you go back and do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Now the second part of the interview is a bit about scenario based. And the first scenario that I will discuss with you is being a part of a contest where you are basically planting a tree or a sapling. It's related to ecological monitoring. What would be your initial intentions to take part in such contest? Why would you be a part of such contest to plant a tree? Why would you be? What would be your initial intentions?
Of course, self-presentation, monetary reward if it is, learning is one. I mean,
People do want to learn about trees.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Right. Do you believe altruism will be there, Karati?
Of course, yes.
And altruism should be there. Okay. And do you believe if they you would be you believe that this kind of campaign would be fun?
It will be fun. Yes, if it will be fun. I mean, if you see our Prime Minister,
Yeah.
he mobilized a lot of people just for plantation.
The Prime Minister Imran Khan you're talking
Yes,
about. Okay.
yes.
And do you believe the autonomy and the autonomy is related to, do you believe during a contest, once you become familiar with the task environment,
Yeah.
through
Yes.
repeated tasks, you will experience improved autonomy?
Mm.
Okay. And you believe altruism is there. And lastly, I would like to ask you, do you believe if appropriate graphic content can be presented in those campaign,
Wait.
it will
Motivate. Yeah.
another thing which I can show you is, if you are not motivated or you're not if you don't concur that videographic content is that much important, I can show you a video. Do you believe if you see the video you can it can be
Further motivate you.
no, it will make you understand that the more the graphic content is important for to motivate. Do you want me to show you the video?
I would like to see.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Tamim, having watched the video, understand the whole criteria behind the video. Some final thoughts. Finally, I would request you to rate the motivational factors shown in a table. Do you believe which factors would be more important for such type of campaign? Additionally, if you can point out to the factors that are required.
There's no internet connection at the moment.
I believe we have during the questions I have showed you at least 5-6 motivational factors. So other than those, do you believe any other factors which may be important for this type of campaign?
Well,
For tree plantation,
for tree plantation, yeah.
you have already, I believe,
Number of competition will be interesting.
okay.
Competition duration will be interesting, because if I'm passing by,
Right.
stopped there half an hour, I entered into the campaign and left.
Okay.
If it is short, then
It is fun.
yeah.
Okay.
Then if there is some prize or something, some recognition, if at all it is there,
Right.
this will be interesting.
Okay. So you can
I mean,
where you can show others that you have planted a tree.
Yes,
Something like that.
recognition is that's it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tamim. Another part of the same is we will be considering a contest related to communal socialization, where you as a crowd will participate to provide your expert opinion related to car maintenance and care. So, do you believe what would be the initial intentions to take part in such contest?
Oh, of course, learning.
Learning, yes, of course, very important part.
Yeah.
Do you believe if the contest helped you to learn about vehicle maintenance and care, would encourage you to continue participation besides your initial motivation to participate? Learning is
one,
right.
and then
There's another part. Do you believe, Doctor, during a contest, if you're familiar with the task, the autonomy
of course
to perform a task is important. Thirdly, I would like to ask: do you believe self-presentation? If you, because this is a social communal part, so do you believe self-presentation, expression, recognition, reputation? So how would you consider? How would you rate? Which one would be your utmost priority: self-presentation, expression, recognition, or reputation? Which one would be the first?
This is probably in the right order.
If you agree with all four of them,
Yeah.
so which one do you believe would be first?
The same order that is given.
Same order is okay, fine. If such a contest can make you feel enjoyment, do you that would encourage you to continue participation?
Yeah.
Enjoyment is important.
Yes.
And similarly, do you believe that in that contest, if graphic content is shown to perform a particular similar type of task,
It will help.
it will help you to do something? Okay, sir. Thank you. So finally, I would request you to rate the environment factors shown in a table, other than those which I have just asked you in a question. Which one do you believe, which I have not presented here, is important, and you believe it?
Tenure.
tenure should be there.
Tenure should be there.
How long
If it
you-
is, if it is a kind of a short thing.
Yeah.
For example, if you want to check your readiness of your car, and if you can do it in 5 minutes, it will help.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Tamim, thank you very much. That is it. That was all of it. Thank you for your feedback.